Okay, our next step then is to put on the umber layers. And you notice that you've got some dotted lines on your design. And like here's the shadow, here's the floor of the niche. So you want to make your, start your darker umber layer here, and you're going to put some umber there, but it'll be darker here than there. Look at your photos. They're not real great, but I think they'll be helpful a little bit. Some dark umber here, but even darker here on the shadow area. This is going to take several layers. This is where you're going to really find out where your pattern is. There are not step-by-step instructions in this lesson on how to do this umber layer. We're in Module D. We're near the end. So now you're going to have to rely on yourself some more. And I'll be going through this the first time myself, right along with you. So we want to put, I'm using Cindy's mix. We want to use extender and glaze medium mixed together on our brush, and this has extender, glaze, and water, so I'm just going to use this. And put very, very light layers on. Have a selection of mops ready. Use a round, use a filbert you need to use to get into that area, that all of these little areas. I'm going to pull out some rounds. You might even need a liner on some places. Have an angle, and I got my filbert. Maybe have a couple flats and chisel blender. You want to maybe use that. So I have all of this ready, and just use what you need to use for any given area. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and get my niche area. We're also going to, I'm pretty sure we're going to also cover this area with the umber, but it'll be a lighter application, like maybe only one coat here where we have more than one coat here. And we also have our backgrounds that now that make this darker anyway. And you want to be sure to let some of your background show through. You can see, I think here, that there's a lot of the blue showing through. Now I'm probably going to come back and put some more dark on this area, some more umber on this area to make it darker, because looking at the picture, this is a shadow area. But this area down here is not, and it will probably only take, I'll probably only put the one coat on. So what we're going for now is our values. And we can also put a layer on the, a layer or two on the vase. And then we're going to come up around and put a few umber layers in to our bouquet also. And you can see here is a good picture of many of the flowers. And then once you put these values in, and you just look at this picture and look at the finished picture, and you see where they go. So once we put these in, then we'll be able to see which places need the dark background color a little better. So here's also a picture with all of it finished, and you may be able to blow that up on your computer. Susan provided like 40-50 pictures, but they're really very small, and the printed pictures that I got are not so clear. Hopefully maybe the ones on this CD will come out a little clearer. I don't know if they will or not. Possibly not. So this is going to be on your own instinct, very much so. So it's time to put our big girl panties on and do these umber layers. So I'll paint a little bit of it here for us. We have a whole lot of room, and I want to make sure it gets under the camera, so I'm going to turn this around. Okay. So my room is still kind of warm, so I'm going to have to repeatedly put on my extender, and you may have to do that too. And I've got my line drawing out, and I know that I need a demarcation line right here, and also there for the Okay, I've got everything lined up well, and I'm going to take my pen and put these lines in. Okay, I have got this area traced on now. It was very difficult because I had put the extender on there first and didn't have it completely dry. So, but with that acetate, you have to really push hard. So I'm going to dress my brush in the Cindy's mix, and I have some umber in my brush already because I haven't cleaned it out. So I'm going to go ahead and start down in this area with a very light layer of the umber. Using mops. To smooth it out. And making it visibly lighter than up this wall. Try to be sure not to go too dark the first time, because it's so hard to lift it out. It's just so much easier to go too light and then to put on another layer. Okay, I'm going to let that stand. It's going to need probably another layer, and this will too, but I'm going to let that dry down just a minute. So I'm going to go back into the Cindy's mix, load my brush again, blend it out on the palette. The extender and the glaze that's in it should keep it wet on your paper palette for a while. I'm going to come in here. Now this is still the lighter part of the niche floor. So I put some color down, and I'm using my mop to smooth and spread at the same time. Okay, now we're coming to the shadow, and we are going to want it darker. So I'm going to start right away with a little bit darker. It goes underneath the base. If you need to do any cleanup, do that right away. I'm using my trusty filbert, but flat would do very well in this area. And I'm just going to go ahead and make the curve of the wall with that value. If your paint is drying up on you, add more Cindy's mix or more glaze or more extender to your brush, and it will allow you to move your paint again.